Welcome everyone. It's great to have you here. Today we're going to talk about washing caravans, trailers, and everything that is a bit larger than a regular bus in the vehicle category. And today we have a perfect video prepared for you. We are at a different self-service box today. Here we have two boxes with a roof, and back there you can see an available space. Everything has been slightly modified and improved for large vehicles. Today I brought my neighbor, Peter, with me. He is bringing his large motorhome, and we will take a look together at what we can share with you here at Usen regarding motorhomes. He is really just starting to get into the topic of vehicle maintenance. I'll share a few tips and tricks with you. I also have many products with me. You can already see a lot of things prepared in the trunk, and he should actually arrive here any moment. And then let's take a look together at what tips I can give you and him for caravan maintenance. Let's get started. So we have the self-service box, and you can already see here we have two nice large covered washing areas which are currently completely free. And over here we have another washing area with the hoses that hang significantly higher. And here we can clearly see that this is perfect for such caravans, motorhomes, or even buses. You can see how high this lance is hanging compared to the normal one. So this is perfectly suitable for such a vehicle wash. We also have all the programs we need. However, we still have a relatively minimalist setup here, because we have the so-called wash brush, and we have a 2001 high-pressure cleaner, so to speak, a high-pressure cleaner lance included. That means no extra foam here, but you have to decide for yourselves how important that is to you. Or you might bring something from home and just ask. So the equipment here has everything necessary. No extras, I must say. But I think it will work well for the wash anyway. First, let's get an overview. And now we will wait for Peter. I will prepare a few more things, and then we will get started with the caravan washing. So, Peter has already arrived, looking for his parking space, converted from a Citroen Jump into a motorhome. Really well equipped. And then we're off. Let's check the length to see if it fits here. I have to drive really far forward, and then the vehicle just fits in length here in the parking space. So Peter drives it a bit further because it gets tight in terms of length. But it's doable, and you can already see that in terms of height, it would fit reasonably well. But the problem is, when you move the hose, you would constantly rub the high-pressure cleaner hose over the vehicle, especially over the corners at the top. And that's why having such a high box with this kind of setup is very advantageous. So if you have something like this nearby, it's definitely a huge tip I can give you. Look for such a box. It is perfectly suited for this purpose.
Next, let's move on to the pre-cleaning. A motorhome caravan looks extremely dirty after such a trip. Here, you have a 5,300 kilometer trip to England. Peter and his wife traveled through England and Scotland, and there was definitely a lot of insect-related issues on the vehicle front, especially, and you should use a pre-cleaner or an insect remover to completely dissolve it. If your vehicle is completely dirty all around, I would recommend using a concentrate to get a lot more product out of it. If it's just about spraying the front, or maybe cleaning the main attack surfaces up here on the hood, you can also use a ready-to-use cleaner, like the Insect Devil from Tugashmi, for example. But if you really need to spray the vehicle all around because there is a lot of dirt, perhaps from driving on country roads, then I would use a proper alkaline pre-cleaner, which is also available as a concentrate. I will link you to one, for example. Below are the suitable product or products, and you can choose something based on your preferences. It is also crucial how you wash, with which product you would like to wash, whether you want something ready to use or if you want to mix something. And there, such insects here and also other residues can dissolve perfectly so that they can be rinsed off nicely afterwards. Pre-cleaning is also the key when it comes to motorhomes, especially because insects can stick on for a very long time and many kilometers are driven. Once again, a very important point here, the topic of safety, not just for the vehicle, but also for you. Use a ladder or a step stool here to gain height in order to reach the vehicle properly. Make sure to wear the right footwear, specifically with a rubber sole, so you don't slip on the aluminum or on the floor if there is shampoo on it. So wear sensible shoes that ensure this. You just have to try it out. Not every boot is perfectly suitable. Peter is wearing boots here that are exemplary, but not every sneaker is suitable either. You just have to give it a try. Not that you slip off the ladder or slip on the ground while working on the vehicle here, because yes, you see here it looks a bit wobbly, but everything is already well coordinated here. Peter has done this several times here with this setup, and it works. So really give it a try. Not every shoe, not every ladder is suitable. Choose something that works very well.
Yes, I've never gotten it this clean before, that's true. It's nice, yes. Stone chips are of course unavoidable. When you have stone chips, it's just, yes. We zoomed through Scotland for 5,000, what did you say, 5,300 kilometer, and it wasn't this clean before. So this is almost like it was at the very beginning.
Yes, the usual washing method is certainly familiar to many motorhome owners. Drive the motorhome into the self-service box, do a little pre-cleaning, and then go over it with the foam brush. At first, this is the simplest option, but in my opinion, and Peter agrees, it has many disadvantages because these programs with the foam brush are really very costly. This means that at the beginning, you either have to invest a lot of money or frequently add a coin or token to keep this permanently active. The next point is also the handling of the hose. During these back and forth movements, you can see at the rear that it often comes into contact with the vehicle's surface, which can cause fine scratches. This is particularly unfavorable for high-gloss surfaces or plastic parts, and there is definitely a better option that I want to show you. Just fill a wash bucket with water. You can also bring your own shampoo if you are allowed to at the self-service box, or you can use the main washing program from the self-service box itself. There is also shampoo included, depending on what you are allowed to use. And then you don't clean your vehicle with the foam brush, but with a microfiber mop, which is now also available here from ChemicalWorkz. Feel free to take a look. You can also set it to the short version or extend it here to reach the maximum height, once with a chenille cover and once with a soft mixed microfiber. Here is the chenille cover. You can put it in the bucket with your shampoo, and now you can wonderfully clean the vehicle here. And you can already see the advantages. You can reach all the way to the top nicely. This should actually work well for all campers in terms of reach. Next, you don't need to constantly spend money on the foam brush, which always has something new coming out. Instead, you can just wash a specific area. Then you wash it, rinse it out once, and take fresh water with you again. So that works very, very well. With such a tool, you simply have the advantage of reach. You can also take a wash mitt and use it to go over the lower areas. That definitely works too. But if you really want to do a thorough job here and reach the top properly without climbing the ladder, then you just get one of these tools and clean all the surfaces. This was also Peter's first time working with something like this. That means he will still practice a bit here, especially regarding the areas and the division of the areas. Sometimes he also goes from the bottom back up to the very top, but these are just the initial practice runs here, and he will continue to perfect it. I will also continue to support him in this. So here you can see that a motorhome owner manages well with it. And here you also have his feedback on it.
So right now, this washing method works much better with the device because it is more economical and you don't have any stress as the clock is always ticking here. And it's also nicer and gentler. So it's a good idea to work with this thing.
And finally, of course, comes the drying. You can now take 5 or 6 microfiber cloths, really thick and absorbent ones. But I recommend you get a Dryblade. It comes in 2 different sizes. You can easily slide off the large water residues from the vehicle. It works wonderfully. And especially with such large vehicles, this is a huge advantage. There you can simply remove the large amounts of water, especially if the vehicle is not sealed. And Peter is trying out the blade for the first time here, and it worked very well, and a lot of water has come off. The remaining small water droplets that are still on the windows or any areas that are still dripping can be cleaned up with a 40x40 or 80x50 cloth, as 80% to 90% of the water is already gone, and you just need to touch up the finer details with the cloth. It's really easy.
So you have seen, you definitely need to pay attention to a few things when you are working with such a large vehicle at the self-service box. First of all, make sure you have access to a really nice box. Then also the appropriate tools, maybe even an extension mop. Such an extension is also unlinked. When washing in general, I would also recommend that if you need to pre-clean large areas, use a pre-cleaner. I will also link a concentrate for you below. Otherwise, for the front, a really nice insect remover specifically, depending on what you want to use. Large vehicle surfaces also always mean larger quantities of products, so perhaps a concentrate could be a nice option for you as well. And then with the right bucket, that would be my tactic. I would go over the vehicle with the bucket and the extension mop, take my time, no rush, rinse everything off, then dry it with the Dryblade, and finally use a cloth. And you will have already completed the majority of the work. And then, back at home, do the small spot checks that where a little bit of water collects again, and that should actually work well. I wish you all a nice day. We can definitely do more here in the future on the topic of caravans. I think Peter will also be involved, and he will dive into the matter a bit as well. We will also take another look at the plastic parts, seal them, and use a special cleaner. So it will be a very, very nice thing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, if you have any tips on cleaning caravans or motorhomes here at the self-service box, please write them down. I can also make a part 2 with more tips if you'd like. Until then, folks, goodbye.